Good evening, everybody. Happy Friday. Today is finally the day that this thing gets finally sealed up and hopefully is rolling. And while you're watching this, it's on its way back down south to Chocky. And we have basically performed a small restoration on this car over the last month. Now, this car has literally been stuck on my ramp for about a month now. And it's finally time to prime it, seal it, Gravitex it, put it all back together and get it rolling back out the workshop so we can go to the paint shop and get the final outside bit finished, and the car will be good for probably forever at this point because we have done so much work. So for right now, you're looking at some clips in the past, priming, seam sealing, getting really dirty, and now I'm about to perform the final coat, but go back to the past. And that brings you to right now, where I've now got Tiger Seal all over my shoulder. It's all dried, and yeah, basically the whole underneath this car is sealed up fully. So now it's time to fully Gravitex the underneath of the car and let it dry overnight. So let's do that. This is what I'll be covering the underside in. U-Pole, Gravitex, you know it's good because it has a P38 Land Rover on the front. Brilliant stuff. You can literally paint over it. It's very, very nice. It's easy to put on. You can buy it with this gun. It's simple as that. A whole car, 6 cans, should be plenty. You can probably get it done in 4. But you want a good heavy coat on it. So we got the 6. I actually have more if I need to, but yeah, there you go. Let's push the old Datsun out. Get it all underneath here because this is going to transform this whole car. Little mask. This is a game changer. I wear this all the time now. Right. I'm not going to film this because I don't want to get my phone covered in it because this stuff goes everywhere. But you'll see a little bit. It's the next day. I've just gone over a few bits that I missed, and we have a fully coated Laurel. I never thought this day would come. Look at that. Fully coated. You know what I mean? All the work that's gone into it. Finally, it is in one solid finished product and just ready for us to put it back together. So that's the job for today. So good. Finally. I like Gravitex, really nice finish. It's not shiny, dulls down to this sort of like chalkboardy grey. Doesn't stay wet all the time, it's not like wax oil. Gets good coverage and it's really thick, and you can build it up in areas if you really want to. Like spray it into all the seams and stuff like that. Very nice stuff. So now start putting it back together, I guess. It's like a relief finally having it, you know, back in one piece again. Thank the Lord. End of play Wednesday. We have pretty much a finished car. Just sort of a couple of little bits, couple of plumbing bits, and we're good to go. So let's have a look and see where we're at. Control arms, give them a good coat of aerosol black, just so it looks all right. Underneath the car, it's all in there. Tank's in there, gone over that with a Gravitex. Diff's in there, subframe's in there, that's all bolted up. We've got our new poly bushes in there, all nice and tight. They were actually quite a nightmare to get in. Obviously, we have our braided Hell fuel lines, which are there. They go straight on top of the tank, and obviously I need to P-clip them up because they're gonna go up into there. And over here is where they'll come out, because obviously they're going inside the car now. This is our brake line piece, and this is a bulkhead fitting, which is gonna be the same on here. Obviously, I'll show you those again. For those that haven't been keeping up, we have these bulkhead fittings, and we're running the fuel lines inside the car. I've got dirt on my face. And we've got these nice bulkhead fittings to put our fuel lines in, custom made from Hell. These are obviously the other end. The fuel lines are gonna go through the car, underneath the carpet, and these bulkhead fittings bolt onto the bulkhead, but I haven't got the right cone cutter, so I can't get it in there properly yet. So yeah, up there, on there like that, and that will bolt in with some M8 bolts. That's obviously the brake line fitting. That's where this is gonna bolt into. Got all new copper brake lines on the front, so our flexies into the copper lines are still waiting on the clips to go on there. They've not turned up yet, my bad. When you get to this stage of a car, when you're putting things back together after a bunch of metal work and underseal and all of that, it really puts into perspective how much work goes into restoring a car, because there's so many bits we've gone to bolt back on, and obviously we're not like restoring everything on this car. But if he was gonna, it would just take forever and so much time and effort. Like, it's stuff like the diff, like scabby and horrible. If you was restoring a car, you want to do that. These little brackets here, yes, we've cleaned them up and given a lick of paint, but ideally they want blasting, powder coating. The tank, that needed buzzing back. I literally just Gravitex over the top of that. I didn't really need anything. I just literally went over the top. Again, it's not perfect, but it does the job. But there's so many things that go into a build like this, like these bolts here. Would have been nice to pull them out, zinc them, and put them back in the car, but you know, where do you stop with a car like this? And obviously when you're doing it for a customer, they're paying. I can't just do everything, otherwise, you know, they'll be spending 100 grand on absolutely everything, because this stuff takes time. So, monumental amount of effort going into this car. And the thing is, as Chocky's going to Japan in November. So this car is basically going to go to the paint shop after it leaves here. He's going to go to Japan for a year, and that's it. No one's going to see it for like a year or so. So yeah, you won't even see the finished result anytime soon. Right, next day, cone cutter obtained, big holes drilled, our little bulkhead fitting fits in there quite nicely, and because I've used my special new drill bits, the double skinned bulkhead is actually now threaded. We've got these little drill and tap things and they work really good. Cost me a tenner for a set, and now the bulkhead is tapped, so I don't have to put a nut on the back of it, so it's quite handy. Of course, coat any bare metal bits before I bolt this on. Put some etch on there, I'm going to put some black on there, then I'll actually put it on there for good. Alright, long Thursday. I have been busting balls to get this thing done and out the door tomorrow, and it turns out it's not even going out tomorrow evening anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But we're pretty much there, kinda. I've just been putting the control arms on the back because obviously, you know, I was saying that I was making control arm bushings. I failed to notice that, you know, a couple of the bushes were different. These were for an E24 and they now fit a Laurel. So had the centers turned down and then obviously put two inners in, and I thought, yeah, that fits nice in there. And it turns out that four of them, one, two, three, four, were about 3 or 4 mil bigger on the edge. So I've had to turn down each inner bush to make them fit the Laurel. But that's done. So control arms are on. Tomorrow I could put the dry shafts in, struts in, and everything is all good. We have the exhaust on, everything's all bolted up. Turns out after we raised the engine, the exhaust is now hitting up there. So it's closer up there, but our modification to the floor, look at that. We can get the whole torch above it. So we've got plenty of room. This downpipe and exhaust is probably going to get remade eventually to go higher. The box is going to go at the back, blah, blah, blah. And the rest of the car, yeah, is all together. We have our new Hell braided fuel lines bolted into there, 45-degree angle A line fittings, bulkhead for the brake lines, all the way around. Obviously goes up, it's all P-clipped to the chassis, and it goes up into the sender. That's all pretty neat and tidy. All the filling X on, everything is pretty much ready to go. Rolling wise anyway. Braided brake lines, new copper lines all the way around. Unfortunately, the wheel cylinder snapped the bleed nipple in. I had the blowtorch out, got it as hot as I could, and it snapped. So steel into metal, wheel cylinder, no good. But when the time comes, this can all get bolted together. No problems at all. Obviously same for the front. All the lines in there, P-clip to the chassis. I've still got to tidy up these, and these are all loose. So they're not final fit up, but yeah, bolted in there, nice and tucked up out the way above the chassis rail. This has been relocated because that was down here, hard line adjusted, etc, etc. It's all quite tight, but we have succeeded in tucking all our fuel lines, etc, inside the car. And that is a really nice way to go about it, if I'm honest. That is absolutely just really, really nice. And then in here, the inside has been painted red, not the same red. It's never going to be. It's going to be under the carpet. It doesn't matter. But yeah, here's our bulkhead fittings in here. I've tucked them right over to the left side. And again, with the fuel lines at the front, all the way as far to the left as I could. These still need to be all P-clipped in. They'll be, you know, run across there and then down the side of the tunnel, underneath the carpet. All should be pretty secure, but just need to get some nice P-clips to hold those all down in one go. So that is a job for tomorrow. This car has come together quite nicely. I really like these lines and stuff. I will say it to the moon, but that was really nice to install and they're really good quality. So yeah, I wish it wasn't completely pitched back outside and you can actually fully see the underneath, but yeah, that is what I'd call 80% restored Nissan Laurel. Yeah, saved from the scrapyard for sure. And obviously when these go back together, we can take all the rear camber, well not all of it, some of the rear camber out because we modified the subframe. Get the fitment more dialed in, you can actually lower the rear a little bit more. But as I said before, stuff like this, gotta get rid of. And like wheel cylinders and drums and stuff like that. It is a never-ending process, so fully restoring a car is no joke. That's pretty close to it. That is a lot of hours, a lot of effort, and I feel like I haven't stopped in weeks. But as of tomorrow, it is, for me, done. Feels like a proper accomplishment because it was so bad. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was all over the place. I do apologize. I'm hoping the next couple of videos are going to be decent. Not just fixing this old Laurel, because I'm sure you're probably bored of it as much as I am now. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Have a good weekend. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed, because that makes everything a lot better for me. So yeah, thank you very much. Goodbye.